Country musician Aaron Tippin once said, "You got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything." Now, besides having an awesome mustache, those are wise words. So today's theme is don't be gullible, listen to me. Hit the music. This is Justin Westmoreland, and you're listening to the Fully Alive podcast, where we integrate physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual relational health so that we can become a fully alive community together. All right, so welcome back to Fully Alive. This is episode 10. I'm alone today. I'm starting a new series on how to get healthier, how to start, where do you go? And we're going to give you 10 commandments for being fully alive, for experiences that health transformation you're probably tuning in for to get. So you got to start with the most foundational commandment. So it's 10th episode, we're going to do 10 commandments. So this is one of 10. So if you're in the future somewhere looking for episodes, just will they'll be marked 1 through 10, so you can go one by one through them. But episode 10, first commandment. So people, when they're talking about fitness, are very relativistic. They like to say, hey, do whatever works for you, And I want to ask you, really, how is that working for you? What is doing whatever you like really gonna meet your needs? I don't think so. What could possibly go wrong with just do whatever you like? Well, the thing is, we do what is the least resistance. We do what's comfortable. We do what we know. Well, the thing is, we don't know everything, and there's conflict and tension that we need to experience in the gym or in life, and we're just not going to go there because we go towards the least resistance. So we like that kind of philosophy, just do whatever works for you, because we like to be in the power position. We like to be able to sit and say, hey, this is right, and I am not going to yield my authority or my strength, and I can sit and say, well, I know this and I know that. Well, hey, the first rule here is we gotta act like we know nothing. We gotta start from a blank slate in a lot of ways. So in my story, I put myself under authority. I made no progress towards good physical health until I let two trainers at a gym really just mold me. I was gonna do whatever they said. Now I'm talking like I'm at the time 35 years old, grown man, and I've got this 23-year-old girl and a 25-year-old guy, and they have gone through it. They know what to do, and I am humbly saying, help me. And until you're ready to say that, you're not ready to grow. I was in poor physical health, and it was hindering me spiritually, mentally, and relationally. The whole thing is connected. Since I've had that transformation, I've seen it, what it is to be fully alive, and I want to give you that gift too. So 10-part series starting today, how to be fully alive, the 10 commandments. And the first one's pretty audacious. It's pretty audacious. But that's why you tune in, right? You didn't tune in for me to just pat you on the back and tell you, hey, everything you know is exactly right and well done, good and faithful servant, did you? You didn't tune in for that, no. And if you think that, you need to stop the tape right now. Stop. Do not pass go, do not collect $200 and go straight to a psychologist because you're a narcissist, probably. You have no idea what you're talking about. I had to realize I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to listen. I don't need people affirming me and telling me what I'm doing is all right. I need radical intervention. And so my first commandment for being fully alive is this: have no other coaches before me. Listen to me. That's what you need to hear. You need someone to speak in your life and say, be my sheep. I will be your shepherd. You need to be someone's follower. You need a coach who's going to lead you. You don't need to be gullible and just taken by every fad, every little thing that comes along the pipe. You need someone to educate you and indoctrinate you and give you the resilience you need to be able to live life fully and to be able to say no to what's bad for you and say yes to what's good for you. You need someone to help you, and that might as well be me. Yeah, might as well, I could be a start. And so there's humility involved in getting healthier. It always starts with, I'm going to listen exclusively to someone. And that's where you start making progress. That's where you start to wholeheartedly commit. You're going to start spending money. You're going to spend time. You're going to start actually emulating other people who are doing it the way you want it to be done. And so I'll tell you, that just happened. Someone recently texted me, and this is a really nice text. Don't you love nice texts? We all love, right, really helpful and thoughtful, nice texts. And they didn't say anything, revolutionary. They just said this: hey, thank you, Justin, for always making good choices when we go out to eat together. And that helps me, because this person was saying, I struggle making good choices with food, and so when you set a good example, it inspires me to make good choices. So let's just talk about this. Let's talk about going to Chick-fil-A. All right, there's a lot of things you can do at Chick-fil-A. Let's just think about it. I've got MyFitnessPal open up right now. It's a great app to have on your phone, and I use this app religiously. If you're going to put it in your mouth and you're not willing to put it in the app, don't put it in your mouth. You want to know, if you don't want to know the truth behind what you're putting in your mouth and what calories it has, what protein it has, what fat, what carbs, don't put it in your mouth. If you want to lie about it, don't put it in there. If you want to have 5 glasses of wine, put them in there. If you want to have, whatever it is, a whole sleeve of Girl Scout cookies, put it in there. So the truth hurts. The truth impacts you. You got to know the truth. Don't run from the truth. So when I go to Chick-fil-A, typically I'll do this. Grilled nuggets, 12 count, 210 calories. Forego the fries, get water, and then you get the buffalo sauce. The buffalo sauce, 50 calories-ish, something like that. So I'm eating for 260 calories, and I'm getting 34 grams of protein in that. That is awesome. Very few fat, very little carbs. And I want to tell you, you've got to look at the numbers. Run the numbers. Let's just see this. Say you sub out the buffalo sauce for the Chick-fil-A sauce. Everybody loves that stuff. You're getting 100 more calories just in the packet of sauce. 140, 150 calories versus 40 or 50. So that's a major difference. Say you're not going to be satisfied with just the entree and you want to get a side. Say you get the medium fries, 400 calories. Say you go to the superfood side, large, it's got that kale and all that other good stuff in it, 190 calories. So you're saving 210 calories on your side, paying a little bit extra, but you're going to get way more bang for your buck. Man, 400 calories for medium fries. Those waffle fries, they're good, but they ain't that good. They're not 400 calories good for me. I'm not willing to take the hit on my calorie goal for those 400 calories, usually. Get you some Coke Zero. If you can't bother the water, get the Coke Zero. Don't get the regular large Coke. You know how much the large Coke's going to cost you? 250 calories. That is foolishness. Why do you need that extra 250 calories? So if you go 250 calories there, 400 calories on the medium fry, and then you get the Chick-fil-A sandwich, which is 440 calories. You know how much that is? That is like 1,200 calories in one stinking, not very filling meal at Chick-fil-A. Who can sustain that kind of pace? Eating that kind of calories at every meal, that's insane. There's a few hacks. You get the Chick-fil-A sandwich with no bun, 160 calories. That's going to cut you down 200 calories right there with no bun. You can get the grilled chicken. You get the grilled chicken with the bun, and that's 320 calories, still way better. You're getting 2 pieces of bread, and you're saving 120 calories off the regular sandwich. A great thing to do at Chick-fil-A is to get the filet. That gives you bacon, lettuce, tomato on the grilled chicken patty with no bun for 260 calories. Now I can go on and on about calories, but you got to know what you're doing. What you're putting in your body. And that's one of the things I like to teach. I like to demonstrate how you do that. And if someone's not showing you that, if your culture's not practicing that, you're going to make bad choices. All right, so people are listening, people are watching you. I had no idea this person was watching me and taking this in, but he was. So you're falling for something no matter what it is. You got to stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. Aaron Tippin once said that. He's a country music. He had a great mustache, by the way. Go look him up on YouTube if you've never seen him. And when you get there in the comments, go ahead and say, Fully Alive Podcast brought you here. Go ahead and comment on his thing and say that. Maybe we'll get all the Aaron Tippin fans to become Fully Alive fans too. All right, but I digress. People are listening, people watching you. You are someone's health coach. You are someone's most influential voice in their lives. Whether it be your kid, your coworkers, your spouse, you wield the power of life and death in your witness, in what you're doing. And the other side of the coin is their example is wielding power over you. Who you affiliate with, your council of people are going to lead you to either life or death. We're community people. We listen to others. You might even say, I'm not listening to anybody. I don't listen to anybody. Well, okay, maybe you're not listening to people in your life, maybe you're not your parents or somebody, but you're listening to whoever's on the celebrities you're following. You're listening to YouTube, you're listening to guys on Instagram. You're being impacted, maybe not your teachers, your coaches, whoever it is, but you're listening to somebody. You're being conformed to somebody's image every single day. We're always being conformed to somebody's image. And so you gotta say, I want to follow somebody who's going to lead me to health and a good life. And so I want to assume the responsibility and say, hey, conform to my image. And I want you to assume the responsibility and say, conform to my image to those around you. Because I care about what you experience. And that's why I'm spending the time doing this week after week. I've been where you are, waking up, feeling purposeless, in a fog, feeling terrible, no idea what to do. I was taken in by the fads. Use my experience and my mistakes and my failure to prevent you from going there. That's what following a coach is about. You've got somebody who's got experience and knowledge that you don't have, and that can lead you out of making the same mistakes that are going to be critical. And so it weighs heavily on you day after day to keep failing, keep on failing on, and just never getting to physical health. And so you want somebody who's going to be able to lead you there. You do. And I wanted that. I was craving that. And it took a while. It took me 35 years to get there where I was going to go in and say, hey, mold me. Tell me what I need to do. I'll do whatever you say. When you get there, you're in the best place you can be. So I've been there. You got to have a voice outside of you. And I'm telling you, once you get there, it's not going to take as long as you think. For me, it took 12 weeks. I lost 48 pounds in 12 weeks, 11% body fat, all kinds of inches. I woke up 12 weeks later, my clothes didn't fit. I didn't know where to go with myself. I'd crawled out of the gutter. I was out of hell. I was alive. Finally, it made such a difference. It's a physical reformation or being reborn, and it's made all the difference to me spiritually, mentally, relationally. I want you to listen to my voice and not be gullible. I want you to pick a voice outside of you and follow it. And let that help you. Let that give you the structure that's bigger than yourself. And look, if you're not working on something, you're not getting better. You're getting worse. If you aren't listening to outside coaching, then you're susceptible to all kinds of blind spots. And you've got a self-delusional pattern of evaluation of yourself and destructive behaviors and patterns that you're not aware of. A coach can look at you right away and say, hey, this is the problem. It takes outside eyes on you to see the things that you're going to miss because you're so familiar to the well-crafted narrative that you have. We all have it. And so and you know what? You've got a narrative about where you've come from, and you've got a narrative about where you're going. You can't even see all the changes that are possible because you haven't had the experience and knowledge to get there. But a coach can see that. A coach can see your future better than you can and what's possible. I had no idea it was possible. When my coaches started talking and saying, hey, you could be this, that, other thing, I didn't know how high to shoot. But a coach can help you to see that. They're going to have bigger dreams for you than you can have yourself. Their experience and knowledge is going to enable you to go where you didn't know was possible. All right, so of course, I didn't have the experience or knowledge until I started following a coach, and then I started helping others along. And like I said, you're going to start leading people along, but you're either going to be intentionally leading them towards life or unintentionally leading them towards death. That's just the way it is. You're always leading somebody. So maybe you're the exception. Maybe you're going to just fly beyond the pale, and you're going to be somebody who doesn't need any help, who doesn't need any coaching. But are you willing to bet your life that you're the exception? You're the one guy who's extremely self-motivated and has all the knowledge they need and can do it yourself. Is that what you're going to bet? The smart money is going to be on that you're just like everybody else. You've got to follow a similar path just like me. You got to be broken and humbled and say, I need to listen to somebody else. You need radical devotion. You need a coach. You need somebody to help you. And I want to be your coach. I want to be the coach you can trust. I can coach you online. I can find you an online coach. I can find you a local coach. Let me help you to get connected with someone who can change you. And look, if somebody changes you, then you're going to change other people. And we together in all this ways, those people are going to start changing other people. And so you're going to take 2 people along with you, they're going to start taking 2 people along with you, and we're going to see a radical transformation in our health as a community, as a country, as a world. Let's hit some examples. I'll talk about one of my clients. We'll call her Margaret. You know, that's not a real name, Margaret. So Margaret, she's seen her physical health and hence a lot of her all the rest of her life transform the last year. What's her secret? It's not that she has perfect abs. It's not that she has perfect glutes, perfect quads, perfect biceps. It's not about really any of her muscles. It's about her eyes. It's about her ears. She receives anything and everything I say. She sees it all. It's her eyes, Margaret's eyes. When I show her an exercise, it's beautiful to watch her eyes watch me do the move because there's a commitment there in her eyes. And I can see it. She's watching every detail. She's copying the form as perfectly as possible. And then she is humbly welcoming feedback. She's learning, and when she realizes, hey, something's not going right, it's not quite right, she'll stop and ask me, am I doing this right? What am I doing wrong? Where does that come from? It comes from faith. It comes from listening to one voice, confidence and trust. When I'm talking about she's assented, she knows me, she's assented to what my philosophy, and her actions are inspired by that. That's what faith is. It's confidence in another. And so, you know what? Margaret has had this great transformation over the last year, and she's leading others. Her mother is now seeing what she's done and has now, contracted me also to get healthy too. She's training with me, and she's already seeing great results. So, ladies and gentlemen, the plan works. There's no other coach before me. Listen and obey. Maybe I'm your coach. Listen and obey. You need a coach. Who are you listening to? Some of you won't have access to me. You don't live where I live. You can't train with me. I can only got so much time. But I can recommend other people. I know lots of good people who can help you. Let's talk about it. Email me. Mention it in the comments below that you want help, and I can reach out to you. Email is fullylivepodcast@gmail.com. All right, another example. One of my newer clients, Mark, has been at it for a while. He's getting amazing results. He also has that. He is meticulously watching and following everything I do. Lots of people want to ask me questions about fitness or Christianity or health, but they don't. They just dip their fingers in. They just dip their toes in. They're not going to go all in. This guy is listening. It's listening. It's the ears and it's the eyes. That is your most valuable asset in the gym or trying to get healthy. It's your capacity to humbly watch and learn and apply it. Somebody asked me, hey, do cleanses work? Somebody asked me that question recently. I was like, well, no, absolutely not. Cleanses do not work because cleanse implies your normal is dirty. And you got to get clean. You're doing this fad thing for a limited time. We're going to cleanse. You know what? Just be clean all the time and let your exception be dirty. Don't just be clean. Don't just have a fad for 7 days or 30 days. That's not a lifestyle. A lifestyle of clean eating and activity. That's what you need. You need a comprehensive, fully orbed philosophy inspired by an individual who's been there and has had the experience, made the mistakes, and seen the results. This is not DIY stuff you can do here. It's not do it yourself. A personal coach is going to develop a plan for you tailored to your goals, your history, and then your future facts. What is going to be true for you? He knows how to get you from where you are to the point B, which is where you want to be. He knows where you've been, where you're going, and so that involves a relationship. You just can't copy somebody's plan and use it. You need somebody who's going to tailor something to you individually. It's not one size fits all approach. I don't recommend just going and downloading the latest buff guys, workout, and doing that. But then again, if you consistently follow somebody, I'm assuming that guy has a philosophy, and that may not be the best philosophy for you, but hey, at least it's consistent. And if you did that for 3 or 4 years, you would see, I would say, some improvement, most likely. Again, it's not tailored for you though. So you want somebody who can look at you and help you. And so what happens when we go against this design. My friend Ross the other day was saying, hey, we're talking about fixing our dishwashers, and he said, hey, every time I try to do something on my own, it ends up costing me more money in the end. And isn't that true with fitness too? You know, you go to the gym, you pay for the cheap membership, you go in and you hurt yourself. You know, you go to the gym without a trainer, you buy the workout tape without a trainer, you save the money initially up front, but you spend the money and much more down the road when you have that shoulder surgery, when you have that back surgery, when you donate to the gym because you get in there and your purpose is you don't know what to do and you just stop going because you don't have any idea of what you're supposed to be doing. And then you hop on to the next fad. You're just making donations to the gym. You're making donations to the next guy who's selling you something, and it just adds up. Whether it's the Thigh Master, the shake weight, the latest health shakes, the things you eat, hot yoga, Bowflexes. I see those Bowflexes in garage sales every day in my neighborhood. Every time I see garage sales, they got a Bowflex out there. No one knows how to utilize these things. Well, it's this, if you're in the 80s, from the 80s, you got Sweating to the Oldies and Deal-A-Meal, Richard Simmons. Vibrating weight belts that shake the fat off of you. 8-minute abs. 8 minutes, that's all it takes. You got massage oils that you can put on, and that's going to take away the fat. Whatever it is. We Fit. Hey, I was like, man, I'll get the We Fit, and then I'll get in shape. When I had the We. There's a lot of things. Just don't be gullible. Get somebody to help you and train you to not be gullible. All right, so there we've got. I hope that you've bought into the first principle of being fully alive, the first commandment, which is have no other coaches before me. Listen exclusively to one coach and let them help you. All right, so these principles are also analogous to how we relate to God. A good trainer is simply an instrument in God's hand to bless you. Hey, a bad trainer is maybe an instrument in God's hand to curse you, to exhibit judgment on you. But let's not get it wrong here. God's governing all things. All things. And we're dependent upon God all of our days. And when we seek to flee from that, that's destructive. There's one principle in our lives, and that's the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. And what I'm telling you in this fitness principle number 1, you shall have no other trainers before me, is simply good and necessary application of that truth. Take somebody who you trust, who's utilizing the principles of God's world and fitness, and follow it. Because the principles are the same no matter what. They're applied uniquely to each individual, but this is not relativism. There are principles like how much you put in your body at Chick-fil-A is going to determine how healthy you are. Calories in versus calories burned are going to determine whether you're gaining weight or losing weight. It's math, and that's the way God's made the world. It adds up. It's consistent. It's reliable. You can bank on it. Man, I just had a friend tell me the other day he'd had a stroke, and they had to let his lungs rest in order to recover. And so you know what they did? They have machines now up in Edmond, Oklahoma, at a hospital there, and they can take your blood out. Now the lungs oxygenate your blood, so they can take the blood out of you, run it through the machine, and put it back in your body so that can bypass your lungs to let your lungs heal. That is amazing. God has created us in such a way that we can take the principles that we know from repeated observation and apply them for great recovery and repair when things do go wrong. So do not ever think that you can reason rightly without having God as your God. You shall have no other gods before me. Now that commandment, it's found in Exodus 20 verse 3. So we're transitioning into what's the first commandment according to Scripture now. And it begins with, I'm the Lord your God who's brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. So what he's saying is, all you've known is this slavery your whole life, and now I've got to instruct you on how to live a life that's full of flourishing. And the first principle, as someone who's never known freedom before, is the most important thing to know is you shall have no other gods before God. Okay? Listen to what Jesus says in John 10. He says, he who enters the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the gatekeeper opens, the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. You hear that? The sheep follow him, for they know his voice. They are listening to no other trainer, no other shepherd. A stranger they will not follow, verse 5 of chapter 10, John. But they will flee from the stranger, for they do not know the voice of strangers. Friends, flee from strangers. Listen to the shepherd. Listen to the only true and living God. And so he says, have no other gods. So devotion to God, what is that? What is to be devoted to God? Well, I would say it's supreme, it's total, and it's all-inclusive. My wife and I were able to take a trip to Jamaica one time, and we went to an all-inclusive resort. So the resort takes care of everything. So you got to think like your meals, everything is included. Yeah. So all-inclusive. Devotion to God or having him as your God only means you are giving him weight in every single thing. Your devotion to him is supreme, total, and all-inclusive. If somebody were to poke you and you bleed out, prick your skin, you bleed out, is the supreme and all-important fact of your life. If they examine you, is it your devotion to God? That's what this means. If we regard our relation to God as a side issue or as a minor detail or fact of our lives, we've not begun to understand what this command means. You shall have no other gods before me. This is the supreme thing of your life. So let's talk about what this forbids, what this commandment forbids. You shall have no other gods before me. This forbids atheism or no godism. Atheism, no godism, or denial of God's existence. So let me talk about atheism. And I want to recommend a great book to you right now. It's called The Westminster Larger Catechism, a commentary by Johannes G. Voss. Go look it up. Steve will put it in the comments below or the description of the episode with show notes. And you need to check this out and let Johannes Gerhardus Voss lead you through what the Bible teaches. And he has a great section on this. He talks about what is atheism. There's three categories of atheism. First, theoretical atheism. That's the philosophy. That's the belief in no existence of deity. That's the intellectual component. Theoretical atheism. Okay? Then you've got virtual atheism. Now, this is belief in a God. So we got all these Tibetan monks running around Norman right now, and they don't believe in Jesus. They believe in other systems, maybe pantheism, gods in all things. Maybe it's another, they believe in a different God, and that's more subtle. That's atheism, but that's virtual atheism. That's belief in a God that is against the biblical categories of who God is. That's saying I believe in God, but I don't believe in the God of the Bible. And that can be subtle. You can have a virtual atheism even though you say you're a Christian. If the idea is that God is just who you want him to be. And so that's not letting God or not being conformed to God's truth, but that's conforming your truth to how you want it to be. And so you can't do that with God. That's virtual atheism. When you exert your intellect over God and say, I want you to be this way. Okay, I'm going to decide who you're going to be. No. Practical atheism is the third one. So you got virtual, you've got theoretical, but practical. Practical is, hey, these are people who say they're Christians, but they live as if there was no God. Okay? It makes no difference to your life day after day that there is a God or not, though in name you'd say you're a believer in someone. And so these are all dangerous places to be. And I would say they're catastrophic to your health. Atheism is catastrophic to your health because how can you know anything rightly if you don't know the most fundamental truth in the universe, which is that there is a God, you're not him, and he made you. You're his creature. Okay? To deny that truth is to throw all things into danger. To offer God merely just part of your life, part of your loyalty and service is to dishonor him and to move into dysfunction. So when you're in the gym, every rep is worship to God. Everything you do is worship to God. It has to be. Why should you seek to learn more about God? Why should you today pick up the Bible, go to church tomorrow, start asking questions and seeking to know who God is? Well, you can only know how to truly worship him and have true knowledge about him by listening. You have to listen. You have to let others instruct you. Only by watching and listening can my clients receive blessings. They don't get hurt. They get stronger. They get healthier. You have to listen. Spiritual life is not DIY. It's not do it yourself. In fact, DIY is an offense to God, and it's ultimately going to cost more than you're willing to spend. Let's just be honest here. Matthew 10:28 says, "Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell." Okay, have you wrestled with that? Is that a reality for you? Do you know that you are in good relationship with God, that you don't have to fear hell? There is a way that you can know you don't have to fear hell. You don't have to fear God in the sense of like he's coming to get you. Jesus says that I've come and I've chosen you to be my friends. Okay? You're not servants, but you are my friends. You know your master's business. I'm laying it all out there for you. Come follow me. That's what Jesus is saying. Jesus is the only one who is a good shepherd. All the other people trying to vie for your attention, vie from your allegiance, vie for your money out there, actually are serving their own interests. They're not good shepherds. They're stealing from you. Jesus is the good shepherd. He will not lead you to destruction. He will lead you to life. And so you want to ask, how do I do that? How do I believe that? Well, no one has any right to believe anything false about God. You need to get into the scripture and ask, what does this teach about you? You have no right to believe anything false about Jesus. And you say, well, I've got right to do anything I want to do. I'm an American citizen, or I'm this citizen, that. I've got rights. Well, look, civil government doesn't give you rights. Civil government, rightly or wrongly views rights and recognizes them. Civil government should not support atheism. Why? Because it's an attempt to destroy the very basis of civilization. You should not support atheism because it is an attempt to destroy your humanity. You are made to love God and to love others. Let's think about this. The Bible says that you are to love your neighbor as yourself. Why do you have this self-love? It's inherent in you. It's in your nature to preserve yourself, to care for yourself. Why is that? Because you're in God's image. You're in God's image. You're valuable. You have value. And so working on your health and fitness is a very valuable thing to do. In fact, it's the very, if you're not working on yourself and caring for yourself, you really don't even know how to love other people. Love your neighbor as yourself. Self-love is a duty. Self-preservation is loving God, taking care of yourself. It's divinely implanted in your soul, in fact. Self-love, though, can become out of balance. So just think about that. If you love yourself and do not love God, then that's inordinate self-seeking. And you've got to change your ways about that. You've got to repent of that. You have to understand that you are to love yourself in accordance with God's design for loving yourself and loving others as is according to His design. You can't love the things of this world more than you love God. Whether it's a six-pack, whether it's the attention of others, whatever it is, you can't love that more than you love God. So don't be gullible. Don't follow people who tell you about the Bible, okay, and tell you, oh, well, that's not what Christianity really teaches. That's not what Christianity, that's not how to be healthy. Look, read it for yourself. Stop being gullible. Pause the podcast and recite all 10 commandments for me right now. Can you do it? Can you do it? Do it. If you don't know the 10 commandments, you have no idea what the Bible teaches. Change your ways of being gullible. Don't let someone else tell you what Christianity says. Read it for yourself. Go to a church where they're Bible-centered and you have others who have made the same mistakes that you're making and can help you and will lead you out of the destructive patterns that you've been in because they've been there. They've gone through it. And they've come out on the other side and they're healed and they want to help. So be His sheep. Stop being gullible. Isn't it ironic that the answer to not being gullible is to be a sheep, to be a follower? It's everyone's following somebody though. We're delusional if we think we're not. So are you following someone who's giving you life? Or are you following someone who's giving you death? There's only two options. And like what Jesus is not just the one who was crucified. He was not a victim. No, he was the king. He was the priest. He was the prophet. Because he had his people in his heart, he was leading them to salvation and to life. Be his sheep. Turn your life over to him. Let him instruct you. Let him lead you. Have no other leaders but him. There's no shortcuts. There's no, if you're sitting there and thinking, well, I've tried it before, look, keep going. Ask him. His disciples asked him, Lord, help my unbelief. Ask for him to help you. I need to ask that every single day. Go to where grace is found, though. To Bible, to prayer, to repenting, leaving behind the old ways, destructive ways, the patterns of your life. Here's what let's do this. Get up every morning, and I want you to say this to God. Say, first and foremost, you are my God, but I am weak and prone to gullibility. Whether it's about how I should exercise, what I should eat, or how I should believe about you. Send me help today, therefore. Send me help today, and then grant me the wisdom to accept that help when it comes. Send me a coach. Send me a helper. Give me the humility to receive it, though. And thank the Lord when he does that in Jesus' name. All right. Those of you listening, we've got recommendations in the notes below, in the description below. We need your help, though. We need your help to subscribe, share this, pass it on to others, like it, comment, every little thing you do. It takes just so little time, but it really helps to get this podcast out there so that we can get the 10 commandments of being fully alive to the world. If we can touch and help one person, that makes this worth it. We do it week after week. So really appreciate everyone's helping out. Everybody's been listening in and supporting it so much. So please do that for us. Keep spreading the word. And remember, we are created to be fully alive and built to worship the living one. Y'all have a great week.